Go ahead.
All right, guys, we did the test drive in number 1. We're gonna see what speed Doc 713 got on test drive number 2.
Right, in the words of Kid, we did this one. Now let's see what this one.
Let's do it.
So, first off, the main difference in the front, like I mentioned before, you don't see that camera situation, which I kind of hate because my 911 has that, and that really comes in handy.
As far as the cruise control, or?
Well, so I don't use a cruise control feature, but in terms of like pulling up on curb stops, the front radar does a good job, but it's cool to be able to have a camera to show. You see what I'm saying? I put the clear corners on myself. That's a must to me.
Okay.
Yeah, and I got them from Suncoast Parts. Like I said, we showed you that charge port on that one. Remember how I said I walked up on that one? This car has the keyless. So look, I walked up and I'm here. You see?
I see.
And they open up for me and all that. Here, got the charge point. Just do that there, and it open up.
Right.
Versus the other one where it's manual, right? And they got that on both sides.
Right.
Now, the first inclination that any car person knows, if they know anything about Porsches, is when you see yellow brake calipers on a Porsche, that means carbon ceramics. So these are the carbon ceramic brakes. You can compare the size to that. Both of these wheels are 21-inch wheels, but look how big the brake calipers are.
Huge.
Right. And so the thing is, even if you see somebody paint their calipers yellow, which I don't have a problem with people doing that, you can tell the size difference. Like when you look at that versus that one, it's no comparison.
None.
You know, it's like they say size matters, and this they really, you see what I'm saying? So
that's a big caliber.
Right.
I've never seen one that big before.
And then when you come, this car has the sport design package like that one. However, the sport design package on this car is in gloss black, which was an option to specify. Now this car is volcano gray. I probably would have rathered it in body color, but it's so subtle you can't tell. But like,
and you say this is an upgrade.
Yeah, it's upgrade. And the emblems are also body color on this car, you know, which is also an option. From the outside, besides the chrome trim is how you know it's a 4S versus a base car, you know, and higher, so to speak. Because after the 4S model, you have the GTS, then you have the Turbo S, and now they have the Turbo GT. And the Turbo GT, Car and Driver said that was the first car they ever tested to less than 2 seconds to 60. Now this ain't that fast, but it's a big performance difference between the two. So let's take a look inside. Now in here, we've got the limestone interior. This car has graphite blue seat belts as well. It's got the Porsche crest in the headrest. Okay. It's got the extended leather with stitching on the door panels and the dashboard. It has the Bose upgraded sound system. It has a Sport Chrono package. It has the Alcantara headliner as well, which Porsche calls it race text. And it has the, you know what I'm saying, what they call Pal Dow wood grain, which I really like.
That's really nice.
To be real, that's what had me sold at first. The wood? The wood. I had never seen a Taycan with wood grain in it. And this is the first one I saw with it, and I was like, man, that wood grain. And then I saw the brakes, and I said, man, what kind of spec is on this car? And so it's got about $30,000 worth of options on it. Most of those options I probably would not have spec'd if I was buying, if it was my brand new money.
Which ones you think you would have put?
I honestly would have skipped out on the brake calipers because they're an expensive option from Porsche. I probably, had I not seen the wood, I would have skipped the wood.
You would have skipped the wood?
Yeah, because if I hadn't seen it, you know, but seeing it in person, I fell in love with it.
Right.
I probably would have spec'd a different color. I probably would have gone with a red with black. The wheels have the body color paint in the spokes. I like that. I kind of would have gone with the Mission E wheels though. So I don't know, my option, I probably would have still gone with a 4S, but I would have kept that number closer to 130 than 160. You know, I definitely would have gotten a Porsche crest and headrest.
Right.
I love that.
Oh, and this sun, yes, it's sun.
The roof still the same. I think the big ticket items I could have done without the aero design package. I wouldn't have spec'd the brakes. However, now that I've experienced the brakes, I can't see a Porsche not having them.
Right.
Because I don't, even though they're expensive and the brake job is expensive, I probably won't have to change the brakes for 100,000 miles.
That's pretty much the lifetime.
The lifetime of the car that I'm gonna have it.
Right.
So, I mean, why not? And the braking power is noticeably different. And on an electric car that weighs, 5,000 pounds, it makes sense.
You need to be able to slow down.
Yeah. So let's hop in and we'll take a ride.
Yeah, let's take it for a ride.
So in here, if we go right to the spec, like this car has more options, mainly because look, you got the chassis height. We can select that here as well, right? And it's got the little screen protector like on your cell phone.
Right.
So I've got the individual setting on here as well, right? I can go to sport, range, sport plus, individual. What I do, I set the recuperation on, the sports sound on, and the chassis height low, but I leave the drive mode normal so it doesn't eat up the battery juice. Because I love the way that these cars handle. I'm not gonna lie. And that's not just for electric cars. These are some of the best handling cars that I've ever driven. Let's see. So here you can tell the different ranges, ride height. There was a little spoiler thing extended. So pretty much this stuff is par for par, but that's where you see the different options list, right? Since this car is all-wheel drive, you have another screen here that you can see how the weight and the power is distributed.
Okay.
Yeah, left to right.
All-wheel drive, right. So what is it normally, 30-70 or? For
the most part, yeah. But it really is monitoring that the whole time. Ionizer function, like I pointed out, the suede headliner, wood grain, the stitch dash, all that is noticeably different, right? Cut that off. And then, of course, same thing here. I got to charge this after we film today.
37.
And then you can open the power doors of the charging doors
from inside. Oh, okay.
Which is
AC and D. Okay, so ACD. Okay.
Yep.
And the front.
Front, and then the trunk. The one thing I wish they had done, I really wish the car graphics were color coded to your specific car. But yeah, let's go for a ride. This one does have launch control. So I'll put it in Sport Plus.
Okay. Let's see the difference.
Yeah, just off top, like it feels, you feel the added power. Oh, another thing that I like about Porsches, all of them, if you hold on the brake, if you press it down, like we're in drive, but I don't have my foot on the brake. Like it'll hold it. It knows that you want to, let's say if you had a long light.
Right. It'll just hold the car.
It'll hold the car. All right, y'all. So
let's see the difference.
We're gonna go into launch control.
My God. Ooh. Man.
Yeah, it's a
big difference.
It's a big difference.
Big difference. Oh my God. I felt it in my stomach. Ooh. I want to see this handling around this curve. Oh yeah. You don't even really feel it. Ooh. Wow.
And there you go.
Man. I felt everything you did in my stomach. Oh my God. Big difference.
Yeah.
Very noticeable difference. from the stopping power to the acceleration, everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
And it's so smooth.
Right. It's
so smooth. And it's tight.
yeah, like look at you see?
Yeah, it's real. It's tight.
It's like well, just think about it and it does it.
It does it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So the thing about it, like, and one thing that I noticed on the steering wheel, it's got this little 12 o'clock band. So like if you were on the racetrack with it, you always know where the top of the where your wheels are straight. Yeah. My 911 doesn't even have that.
That's important too. Especially when you're on a track.
Right.
Feel you know where the top of your steering wheel is.
And so then when you want to just get back normal or whatever, you know, you see everything quiet and chill.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And I think the difference between the car's acceleration wise, this car is about a 3.5 second 0 to 60 car.
Man, that was quick and smooth. You don't hear nothing, you know, normally in a motor car you hear everything.
Right.
You know, here is it's like, you know,
it just goes.
Just goes.
Right.
Just goes.
Right. Yeah, it just, you know, I think when you start getting into the Taycan GTS and Turbo, those cars are like 3 second flat sub, 3 second cars. You know, that's when you really get into it. But to be perfectly honest, there's no, in everyday usage, there's no need for that.
No.
You know, like, even though you could tell the difference between those two cars, the base car and this one, anything faster than that,
I mean, it's useless.
Yeah, because when you're on the freeway or just driving,
right,
like electric cars, when they deliver their power, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
You know,
right.
So that's more of a party trick type situation. Same with track pack, Tesla plaids and all that other kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
EV Hummers.
So their purpose was just to get other people to purchase their cars. That's why they increased the.
Well, yeah, everybody wants, you know, big, bigger, biggest.
Right.
Fast, faster, fastest.
Right.
You know?
Right.
You know, didn't Jay-Z say, what's the difference between an S500 and S600? $60,000?
$60,000, that's right.
Yeah, ain't that what he said? I mean, that's what, for some people, that's what it's
down to.
Yeah, like, okay, yeah, I see what you got, but look what I got.
Right.
So, you know.
Right.
You know, people do what they do and how they do it. And I've driven a Taycan Turbo S on the track, and it's a formidable car, but it's way more capable than what anybody would need on the street. In the same way that a 911 Turbo S is. Like a 911 Turbo S, it's like I can do it, but do I have to do it, or do I have to, you know, do I need to do it?
Right.
No, but it's there if I want it.
If you want it.
Right.
Right. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah. So like, you know, when it comes down to kind of wrap up our video here, I really like the Taycans. The price difference between the two, it's hard to justify if it's my money spent, you know, but with the depreciation of EVs, I don't feel like I paid for none of it. So
right. Now, as far as the taxes, don't you get a tax benefit? When you have
so they're changing a lot of that.
Okay.
A lot of that is starting to go because every manufacturer damn near has an EV now.
I got you.
You know, so that's kind
of taking that away now.
Yeah. So that's not enough to move the needle.
Gotcha.
You know, the real thing.
Not a selling point no more. Not really.
Not for real. Yeah. Like, you know, I tell anybody, man, like, if you're going to get an EV, whatever you do, get one that's the heavy depreciation is already hit, or you lease it.
Or you lease it.
Right. Even as much as I like these cars and as big of a Porsche fanboy as I am, I cannot tell somebody to go spend $160,000 on this Taycan 4S. Because like I said, that's what the sticker on this one was, brand new. You know, and I paid nowhere near that. Right.
So it appreciated pretty
Yeah,
pretty good.
Yeah. It's a couple of ways you can buy cars. You can make the money to buy the car you want. You can make the money and wait for the car price to come to you.
Right.
Or somewhere in between. I'm somewhere in between.
Right. The safe zone.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, you know, for what I'm in this car for, I'm never upside down.
Correct.
On it. You know?
Correct.
If I wanted to trade this in on something else, I could without hesitation or issue. But the fact of the matter is, this car is great. I mean, I have zero complaints about it in terms of daily usage. You know,
I just got to get over the not as many power stations, like if you taking a road trip, because I like road trips.
Yeah, then this ain't it.
Right.
This ain't it. Like,
This ain't
the only
it.
reason why you go on a road trip on something like this is if you're trying to take it somewhere to show off to people what you have.
Right.
Or to show your new car to them.
Right.
But beyond that, I wouldn't. I have no desire to put this on the highway.
Right.
None.
Right. So that's where it comes in at justifying, you know, 6 figures. You know, you can't really take a road trip versus, you know, something a lot less. You go to.
Yeah, but
go
see,
wherever you
that's the
want to.
thing. I don't, which is right. But, you know, I don't do road trips.
Right. You fly.
Yeah. so you know, I mean, that's where it comes in handy. If I were going to outfit my lifestyle to do a road trip, I wouldn't even factor in an electric car at all. You know, if you had to twist my arm to say, hey, you got to take an electric car, it's going to either be a Lucid.
I've seen a Lucid.
Yeah, maybe a Rivian, but other than that, it's going to be a Tesla Model S. You know, with the longest range battery, but you know, you still gonna have to charge. Like, I mean, I don't. It doesn't compute to me the person that would want to do road trips and have an EV.
Right.
They out there, and I know they out there, but that part isn't for me.
Right.
Just give me an SUV or something for that.
Personal preference.
Yeah, exactly. But it doesn't discount what you're saying.
Right.
You do have to factor all that in. You do have to make that determination, accept what those parameters are. Like I said, I got to go. What did we do? That ate up about 2%, 3% of the battery. Us doing that, you know.
Wow.
You know, because where did we start? I forgot, y'all. Was it 30?
I think 37.
37. We have 33%.
I want to say 37.
Yeah. Now, if I drive in normal mode and recoup, it'll probably go back up to 30. Well, it'll stay at 33%, but my range is going to change. You see what I'm saying?
So let me ask you this: the less percentage you get, does it reduce power as far as you're driving to try to save, or it still be wet?
No. Now, if I tell this thing just to do, now Porsche's driver centered. So if I tell it to stay at Sport Plus until there's no battery at all left, it'll do it.
Right. Still using all power.
Right. If I want to the last race possible, it'll do that. But you know, common sense comes in at some point.
Right.
You know, so that's why I say, like, you know, I got 76 miles of range left, which is a little bit more than a quarter tank if this was a gas car.
Right.
So I'll go charge it up.
Right.
Just so I don't have to fool with it for the rest of the week. Now, if I charge it today to full with the driving patterns, it'll last me all week. You know, as long as I'm not doing stuff like what we just did. But if I'm just driving like a regular car, it'll last all week.
It'll last all week. Yeah, which is good. You don't have to worry about all changes. You don't have to worry about none of that.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It's just brakes and tires, and with the ceramic brakes, I don't have to worry about brakes.
You don't have to worry about that either.
Yeah, it's just tires.
Yeah.
So next time, like these, I think have Continental tires on them, if I'm not mistaken. I think I want to switch them to when it's time. I'm gonna switch them to Michelin's. You know.
Yeah, Michelin. You can't go wrong with Michelin.
Yeah. After I have Pilot 4S's on my 911, but after my little track experience, I kind of want to step up to Cup 2s.
Right.
You know, that might be a little bit aggressive for the street. I don't know. We'll see. Well, cool. Yeah. What's your thoughts on it, man?
My thoughts, it was a great experience. I'm still not sold on EVs quite yet. Just because of the charging of it. But other than that, it's a great car. It'd be something that I would pretty much just be a local commute. but I don't see me spending 6 figures for one. So that's my take on that. That's about it. Yeah, that's my take on that. Yeah, I still like the gas powered V8s. Yeah, but electric cars, they're all coming in, you know, coming into play these days. So it's a thought. It's a thought. But I enjoy being in my first ride in one, especially in a Porsche Taycan. Yeah, you can't beat that. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Well, all right then, y'all. This is Speed Doc 713 tapping out. Coming up with KD.
Coming up with KD, y'all check me out. Subscribe to the channel. Been around a little while now, still at it.